Hello, Baha. How are you? How how's your evening going? Long time no see. I hope you're doing all right though. Welcome back. Please let me know if the sound is okay. I got feedback from when I posted the live that it was still pretty quiet. So let me know if the mic sound is a lot better. Um, but regardless, I hope you're having a good evening, good night, good evening. You just made eggs? Hell yeah. Do you put anything on them? Are you like a ketchup person, salsa, or just salt and pepper? Honestly, like it depends on the mood that I'm in. You know how sometimes I don't know if you get this, but sometimes like I don't like eggs. It's better now. Okay, cool. Yay! Thank you for letting me know. Sometimes I just get freaked out by eggs. They're like, ugh. So I don't like it with salt and pepper. I prefer it with ketchup or salsa. But I do love eggs. I love chorizo and eggs. I love hard-boiled eggs. But scrambled eggs, always a hit or miss. Cheese. Oh, I forgot about cheesy eggs. Cheesy eggs are good. Oops. I made a smoothie. And then I popped the dog's food in the oven to warm up while I do my stream. Ugh. Pretty much just meditated. This is a big ass thing. Won't fit through the arm. Cheese and ranch. Really? Beef, go lay down. This is not for you. Go lay down. Go. I see you stalking. Yeah, I have eyes everywhere right now. You don't even know. Oh, he's like pretending to look out the window. What a nerd. I never heard of putting ranch in eggs. Interesting. Like ranch dressing or like the seasoning packet? I still don't know how to say your name. Zeglina? Is that right? I don't know if it's a I, Zegina. I'm just gonna call you Zeg if that's okay. Welcome back. I'm glad to see you back. I don't know if you guys can hear my Reba show. I know I don't look like it, but occasionally I do like to watch the Reba show. Because it kind of gives like a, I don't know, I like family kind of vibes. Because I don't get to hang out with my family. So I like to hang out with the TV families. LD, welcome back. Yay, I'm glad to see you guys back. I really appreciate it. Dressing, I mix a little in, I beat the eggs. Okay. I'm gonna have to try that. I'm gonna have to try that. I'll tag you in the video when I do. I'm interested. I'm curious. I'd try it. You're live? You're live right now? While I'm live? Like, you can do that? Like, I can go into your live and chat into your live while you're live? While I'm live, I mean. This is so good. Odin, what are you doing? Come in here, please. Come here. Odin. Thank you. You stay out of the living room area. Anywho, we have a topic tonight, okay? The topic is butt worms. I was going to be on TikTok, but I'm not going to be on live for too long. We're going to talk about butt worms. And then I'm going to feed the dogs, and I got to prep some garlic and cut my avocados and freeze them. Work out a little bit, meditate, and go to bed. So tomorrow is going to be a big day. I'm going to try to earn as much money as I can, but I don't want to focus on that right now. I just want to focus on doing things I want to talk about. So we're going to talk about butt worms. If you don't like that topic, then get out of here. Leave. No. James, hello. Hope all is well for you. James 3rd. I don't know if that's the James that was in high school with me, or if you're just a different one, but if you are the one that was in high school with me, hello. If not, then ignore me. Fucking God. Anyway, we're going to talk about butt worms, okay? And I know that's a weird topic, but because of my chronic illness, it all commingles, okay? I promise you. It has to do with the smoothie I'm drinking, all right? So let me give you some background info. But I posted a status today talking about it, and people wanted some more info, so I figured I'd do a video and do like the stream topic this for Sunday night. Why not? So a lot of people are always curious about this. I really had no idea about parasites and stuff until recently. So without further ado, butt worms. Okay, this is TMI, but I don't care. When you're talking about medical stuff, like, you have to be open about things so that when people get the symptoms that you're talking about, like, I'm just being open about the symptoms so you guys know what to look for. You know what I mean? Because they're not the ones that you see online, which is the weird thing, the kicker, you know? So this is so good. This is a smoothie that healed my gut. So what I'm going to do is just answer the questions that are on my Facebook, and then we'll talk a little bit more about it, because people had certain questions, and that kind of gives me like a starting point, because I don't really, it's so everywhere, I don't know where to start. I started about last year, November, October. A lot of you were on my TikTok at that point. I started a parasite cleanse because someone came in and was like, parasites are the root to all like autoimmune issues. And I'm like, I don't know about that, but I'll try it. I've tried every medicine. So I have rheumatoid arthritis. I've had it since I was 6. I've tried every medicine in the book for this. There's one more medicine I can try. It's a shot like every 3 days. I don't want to do that. So at this point, I'm trying to figure out holistically what's going on, how to fix it, and exactly to a T what's going on in my body, right? So I've come to learn that I did have parasites. I had a candida overgrowth, and then mold toxicity, which if you have mold toxicity, you're very likely to have candida overgrowth and or parasites. They kind of join. Like, your body becomes so weak that it can't fight off parasites, mold, fungus. We all have candida on our skin. So that can get haywire and become like too much growth, and then you're getting like rashes and stuff like that. Because I don't know if y'all remember, but I had like this weird little rash that was starting to happen on my wrist. And every time I get off this medicine, I get a rash. So I knew that there was some underlying thing happening. The doctors don't give a shit, but I care, right? Because this is my life. So I started it then because I was starting my holistic journey more serious. What the hell is going on? Because I'm so miserable. This can't be in my life. I couldn't even move off my bed. It was excruciating just laying in bed. So, one girl, she asked, "What do I do?" And for the parasite cleanse, and that's what I'll start with because it's kind of like a process, a journey, blah blah blah, whatever the fuck you want to call it. So when I started it, I took Pinrid off of Amazon. They don't have it anymore, but you can find it online. It's like a natural anti-parasitic medicine. Okay. So I took it, and I took it for a day just to see how my joints and my body would feel. Like, who knows, maybe I'd be shitting blood, I don't know. So obviously if you're doing that, like, stop taking it. Okay. So I tried it just to make sure like the reactions were okay. So after day 1, I was fine. So I continued for 3 days on the Pinrid, which is pinworm medicine. The reason why I started this is because when that person mentioned it in the stream, the parasitic stuff. I went to my Facebook. Facebook is always my home base where I ask the questions that people can kind of help me with, and like-minded people and people I've known for years and people that I've gone to school with and family, like they're on my Facebook too. So good people who have good brains on them. I go to a place where they all are. So I made a post about it, and some dude was like, "Oh yeah, my girlfriend gets those. She does a pinworm cleanse every month." And I'm like, "Oh, interesting." And he's like, "Yeah, get the tablets, not the liquid." I was like, "Okay, good to know." So I did that. I took Pinrid for 3 days and then went off of it for 3 days. I felt my symptoms coming back, so I did it for 2 weeks and then 2 weeks off, and then was off for maybe like 3 weeks, I would say, in between that, and then went for a month on the Pinrid. So that was that process. It was kind of like a break and then taking it, a break and then taking it. The reason for that is I believe I've had these since I was 6. I think I had a mold toxicity parasitic issue in my body since I was 6. My doctor doesn't think so. But also there's a cycle that happens. The eggs, the life cycle that happens like when they mature and stuff. So when you take Pinrid, it paralyzes the body of the adult pinworms. You too, James. Thanks for popping in. So it paralyzes their bodies, so that way you can poop them out. Okay. When you're doing any kind of parasitic cleanse, it's really important that you sweat a lot so you can get those toxins out and the bacteria out. And then on top of it, it's really important that you take binders because their dead bodies can. By the way, this is one of my merch hoodies. We'll have them back available when I get money. I have a merch line, but I don't have the money to be having it up right now. So it says Mihoy Minyoy, and I made the metal letters. Anyway, doesn't matter. But yeah, if you don't get binders, which allows them to, like, they somehow like get attracted to them, and like then you can excrete them out of your system. If you don't do that, their dead bodies will stay in your system, and you can get more sick from that. So what I did exactly is I did that pinworm thing. And you guys got to understand, I did a very severe cleanse because, like, very strict, because I'm still pretty crippled. Like, my hip is really bad. It's hard for me to walk around. My other joints are impacted. So that's the reason why I went like full, like, strict mode on this. So no sugar, no carbs. I even limit the amount of sugar I have with like fruit. It's just strictly lots of yogurt, lots of raw garlic, lots of salad. So not too much heavy protein. I get my protein through eggs or the Greek yogurt, but lots and lots of veggies and stuff. So that's pretty much what I've been doing for the last year, just super clean. I'll have a little treat every once in a while, like every other Sunday I'll go get like maybe a churro or a donut or something small like that. But other than that, I keep sugar out of my diet, carbs out of my diet. And that's just temporary. You got to understand that as well. It's not that you have to do that forever. For me, I know I'm going to have to keep doing this for like my life, but I can enjoy treats more often as opposed to if I had like a donut a few years ago, I would be crippled the next day. It would just make my joints swell up. Like these fingers will just balloon up because the fluid gets infected. And I'm like, why is that happening? The doctors don't know because that's the narrative they give for autoimmune illnesses. They don't know. They don't have a cure. They don't exactly know. So because I've had this since I was 6, I'm like, fuck it. I'm going to try to figure out. And I know that sounds like cocky, whatever, but I feel like I have an advantage point of being able to know kind of what medicine helps and what doesn't. But that doesn't mean my case is everyone's case. I don't think that's 100% it, you know. But I think this info can help people. But I did that, and then, like I said, ate a lot of raw garlic. Is that delicious and fun? No, it fucking sucks. It's spicy. It's disgusting. I hate it. But it's so potent. It's such a potent antimicrobial, antibacterial, antifungal, antiparasitic. It will kill parasites. You just have to be consistent with it. So it's like an everyday thing. Like, every day, okay? I was not very consistent with it because I don't like it, but for me it's either not walking or having less pain because of the garlic, and I'll do anything for the less pain because no pain meds or anything work. But garlic is also a binder, so that's one of those things that will help you poop out the wormy worms. And I take activated charcoal to help with that. If you're on any SSRIs or birth control, definitely check with your healthcare person to see if you can mix them. I definitely know with birth control, if you take black activated charcoal, it'll cancel out your birth control, so it no longer works. Oh, and this is a smoothie that I pretty much just been drinking for like the whole year. So I start off with water. I do 2 big ass scoops of coconut oil. The reason for that, I made a video on this as well, so like a separate video of this smoothie specific. But the coconut oil is antimicrobial, antifungal, antibacterial, anti-inflammatory. I've noticed since I've used coconut oil too in my smoothies, my skin is a lot softer. I don't have to use lotion or anything at this point. Where I was using like a lot of lotion and I don't really have to. So coconut oil, avocado for fiber, and it has glutathione in it, which is good for killing mold. Which, like I said, I think mold is the common issue, like the bottom denominator, which like it allowed me to get candida overgrowth. It allowed my system to allow parasites in it. But getting rid of those and finally getting to the bottom, which is mold, that's going to put me into remission. I'm like 100% positive of it. So this smoothie has been everything to me because for a while I was taking like 15 to 20 ibuprofen a day just because no like of those hardcore pain meds, those don't work for me. And over the counter was like the only thing that did like the smidgest kind of relief. So I would take a shit ton of ibuprofen. As you can imagine, I was having the mad shits, all right? It was terrible. So I was like, I gotta stop because I'm gonna like hurt myself really badly internally with this, you know, something's gonna happen that's not good. So I had to just cut it cold turkey. It really sucked for a few days, but I started healing my gut because I started drinking this smoothie. So if you have issues like that, do not take Pinrid, do not take garlic, anything like that. Don't even worry about that until you start healing your gut. And I started with the smoothie, eliminating sugar, eliminating carbs, because the carbs and the sugar, it feeds the bacteria, the mold, the parasites. But this has like heavy probiotics, which is good bacteria. So you pretty much like send in little warriors to go fight the bad bacteria. And the avocado gives the good bacteria food. That's the fiber. So prebiotic is good for the probiotics. It's their food. So the avocado serves as a prebiotic. And that feeds the good bacteria so that the good bacteria can fight the bad bacteria. And your system should be at a pH balance to where normally it's too acidic for parasites to thrive. So if your body is off balance, then parasites, like one gets in your system, and that could just be eating sushi or eating slightly undercooked fish or something, you know. Even as simple as walking outside, and if there's strays that walk around, you can get worms that like get absorbed through your feet, and it's crazy. So I would recommend healing your gut with the smoothie kind of thing first, and then go towards garlic and the pinrid, because your gut is going to be too sensitive to even do anything with those things. I only know that because when I was trying to eat garlic before my stomach was healed, pretty much it was just like corn in the toilet, to be graphic. I have to be, but like you will know because you will see the garlic not be digested. You will see it in the toilet much like corn. And so what cued me in that I had a parasite infestation, infection, whatever you want to call it, is that person told me to do a parasite cleanse. So I started, but when I would go bathroom, I was eating a lot of Pringles at that time. So when I would go bathroom, there would be like these sesame seed looking things in the toilet when I was done, to be not super graphic, but to give you the picture, you know? So like I would be like, okay, that's weird. Maybe it's just like undigested Pringles, you know? And then I would see like little short, very short thread like things that were also the same color as just like Pringles, like a very light beige kind of, you know. And I was like, nah, there's no way. This is when I was taking the Pinrid. I was like, there's no way that's parasites. There's no way. Whatever, like gaslighting myself, you know. And so that's when I was doing the 3 days, and I was 3 days off. And then when I started back onto like the 2 week routine of it, like the second day in is when I went bathroom, and there was literally worms in the toilet. I shit you not, no pun intended. But yeah, doing the smoothie, you don't have to do the smoothie exactly, but the smoothie is the biggest thing that's helped me get to that. Being able to be healthy enough to cleanse yourself. So the Greek yogurt is the biggest part of it, and then a splash of apple cider vinegar, stevia. You don't want to add sugar. You could add raw, unheated, untreated honey. That's very great for your gut. It's a natural antimicrobial, bacterial, anti-inflammatory. So really good for your system. You just got to make sure it's unheated and untreated, because the heat kills it. And most shelf stuff at the stores, not real honey. So don't even try that. Go local. Get something local from your peeps. Doesn't cost any different. As a matter of fact, it's cheaper for me anyway. So it might be for you. But I throw in a few strawberries because it ends up tasting like the pink sobe drink. Like a coconut strawberry drink. You don't taste the avocado. But pretty much that's all I put into it. It's really good. You can use coconut water if you want, whatever. But it healed my gut, and now I drink it all the time because I need the good bacteria in my gut. And if you want, I don't know how it's pronounced, kefir. I know that's got great probiotics. There's a certain, it's like lactolilicium or some shit like that, that it's a very specific good bacteria that exists in yogurt and like cultured dairy products. So like cultured cottage cheese, cultured sour cream, like actually like with the cultures, yogurt. Some yogurt doesn't have cultures, so you have to look on the side to see if things have cultures. Some of them are so processed that they don't. So sour cream, cottage cheese, all those things, dairy, used to, the traditional way to make it was that it was cultured cream in a sense. So that's pretty much what you're trying to get into your system. I know some people are lactose intolerant, so I know yogurt is a low lactose food, so take it how you can. You know, you don't have to do so much, you know, if it hurts your stomach, if you want to try 1 spoon. But getting probiotics through anyway is going to help you. Kimchi, sauerkraut. There are probiotics in kombucha and apple cider vinegar, but not enough to make a difference. You would be having to drink like bottles in the day, and it's so acidic that it's really not good for you to do that. So it's really good to have like a well-rounded. I love sauerkraut. I have a little bag of sauerkraut that I eat. I eat like a spoon or two a day, and then I have the yogurt, so it has like a well-rounded amount of probiotics. So that's pretty much what I've been through since like last October. It's been kind of that. Like now I take Pinrid once a month for 3 days. But at this point, Anthro-Rat, welcome in. At this point, the garlic does enough because the medicine I was on was allowing the parasite, bacteria, whatever, to thrive. So it was kind of like making the food that I was taking in, it wasn't working that well because the medicine was like regressing the progress, if that makes sense. The medicine I take shuts down my immune system. So the one that I was just put on, it was giving me an allergic reaction that made my joints swell. So the problem with the symptoms that you get online is it's like joint pain, fatigue, like very like so vague, right? So vague. And I think a girl even asked, hold on, let me see. One girl asked, is it possible to see these and never have any signs? Yes and no. Usually people will have a sign. It can look so vague, like fatigue, joint pain, you know, diarrhea, constipation, head fogginess, ear ringing. It can look like so many things. So a lot of people think they don't have symptoms like myself because then it tells you you should have an itchy butthole and stuff like that. So to me, I'm like, oh, I don't have an itchy butthole. So I don't have butt worms, you know? No, I still have butt worms. They were there. Where was the question? What made you think you had them to the point of starting to need them for a major cleanse routine? Like, should everyone be doing this, or did you eat something that triggered this? I did not eat anything that triggered this. Someone, like I said, came into my stream and suggested it. Like, they said you should try a parasite cleanse because I was crying. I was at my ends wit. I was bedridden. I couldn't move. I didn't have a scooter at the time. It was difficult for me to even get food into my system. I was losing weight. Like, I was severely sick, even worse than now. So someone came into my stream and listened to what I had to say and asked me if I ever did a parasite cleanse, and I was open to it. So I did it and noticed literally after the first day that my symptoms improved like at least by 50% overnight. And so that's why I continued to do that. Through my research, what I've learned with parasites is that most cultures, most countries do routine parasitic cleanses and fasting to kill parasites and just to reset the body and stuff like that. So in other countries, they have lots of dietary additions and things that their culture is just like that naturally sets their environment up to not allow parasites. But if they had parasites, it would also cleanse them out. For instance, Mexican food. Onions and herbs are great to clean out for parasites. And then protein is really important because it kind of acts like a binder sometimes. Depending on the protein. Usually it's red meat, but you can't eat too much of it, so it's like a fine line. But you should be eating some sort of like meat protein. From what I've read, I mean, if you're vegan, you can do whatever you want. Do whatever you want. You're adults, but it's not like an everyday thing. It's just needed for, I don't know, some reason. I forget. But a lot of countries do parasitic cleanses, and they have like anti-parasitic, antibacterial, anti-inflammatory diets. Indian cuisine, for example, as well. Lots of turmeric, lots of ginger, lots of fermented things. Protein, once again. They eat lamb and like kind of better, I think, proteins is, you know, I don't know, like the proteins we eat nowadays are just so overfed with grain and stuff like that. And believe it or not, that impacts our body. So I don't know if it's leaner. I don't know what it is. I know for me, I've switched to I can only have animals that have been grass fed. That includes eggs, everything. So all these is great with that. So if you need, you know, grass fed beef and stuff like that, Donovan, welcome back. All these is where I get my stuff. But someone recommended it. And like I said, I decided to give it a try because I hadn't, at that point, like I've been on everything. I've been on chemo for this stuff. I've been on loads of prednisone my whole life, which is not good. Like if you've been on prednisone, most doctors will tell you that you should only be taking this for like courses. So I've been on so much destructive medicine that I was willing to try anything. And the more research I did, I learned that more diets outside of America have anti-parasitic things. Asian diet, lots of whatever the hell, fermented things, lots of fiber, lots of seafood, lots of collagen, lots of broth. stuff like that. So a lot of the diets outside of America promote anti-parasitic diets and parasite cleanses and stuff like that. And so America, they don't so much. And not only that, the foods that we eat promote bacterial and parasitic growth. So people are more likely to get parasites. And it could literally be as simple as someone with buttworms itches their ass and serves you your fucking chicken nuggets, and boom, you got fucking buttworms. That's how it works. Okay? It's nothing crazy. I mean, that is crazy, but still. So, I think if you're experiencing lots of head fog, fatigue, I already have a high metabolism, but it was to the point where I was eating like 8,000 calories in a day and losing weight and doing nothing. Like, I was bedridden at that point. So I was like, okay, what the hell? Maybe I do have like a tapeworm or some shit, you know? Because there's no way my metabolism is like that. My metabolism's crazy, but it's not like that. So then when I started doing the parasite cleanse, healing my gut, I found out because my gut was like so bad, I was malnourished, I wasn't able to absorb nutrition. Healed my gut, started getting more nutrition into my system, and then started slowly getting rid of the worms, which allowed me to slowly start absorbing more nutrition. And finally, I could start getting a little bit healthier weight on. I'm still kind of working on that. It's difficult because I can't walk very well, and I don't know. Once I have more money to feed myself and have the health to be more active, then it'll all come together, but I'm in no rush. I'd like to be in remission right now, but it's a learning process with this, and this is all valuable information that I need to learn, I guess, if I want to be healthy, right? And to remission. So, I don't think everybody needs to do the extreme that I need to do, because I literally stopped eating everything and just drank this smoothie for literally like 3-4 months. Nothing but this. I had no appetite, and that's always been a big symptom of mine. When I go into a flare, like, I don't have any appetite. Nothing sounds good. Not my favorite ice cream, not my favorite sweets, not my favorite fast food, nothing. And like, I won't even eat it because the idea of eating it kind of makes me nauseous. And then I had a lot of nausea. I had a lot of, gastrointestinal issues. And so I was like, I don't know, might as well fucking do it. So healed my gut with the yogurt. I've already done that before, so that was already just pre-knowledge that I had. I don't even know how I started yogurt. Oh, there was the one time I was in remission, I go back to that, and I was eating a lot of yogurt because I was just craving it. And so I knew something around the yogurt, because I was going through like a tub a day, like a huge tub. So I knew something with the yogurt, and I had a lot of garlic during that time. So I've always craved garlic. My system has always loved garlic. So I knew there was something with the garlic, and I started just learning more and more. And garlic just turns out to be a natural anti-parasitic, fungal, bacterial kind of thing, and it's so potent, hence why it tastes so potent. But you can get the same benefits from it by cooking it. You just would have to eat more, which a lot of us, it calls for 1 clove, and we're putting in fucking 10. So a lot of y'all are pretty set with that. But it depends on the severity of your symptoms. If you feel like you need to go all out, or if you just need to start incorporating probiotics in your system and eating a little bit more vegetables and maybe getting a binder in there, which is garlic. Let me look up other binders for parasites, because I don't know of any except for garlic and charcoal. Binders for... The 7 best natural binders for Lyme, mold, and biotoxins. Let's see what this says. LinkedIn, what the fuck? What the fuck? I like doing that. It makes me feel like that's what it'd feel like to be a man. I'd just walk around being like that. What the fuck? But even deeper. And I'd be standing with my big ass arms. What the fuck? Okay, see you later. Have a good night, Baha. Okay, let's see. Okay, activated charcoal zeolite is a product of volcanic ash and seawater interacting. Bentonite clay, chitosan, I don't know what that is. Pectin, interesting, which is found in fruit and stuff. Chlorella, green microalgae known for high chlorophyll. Diatomaceous earth, that's interesting. Now, I do know with diatomaceous earth, there's a food grade and there's a non-food grade. So if you consider that option, please heavily look into that. When diatomaceous sourced from areas with high levels of when diatomaceous earth is sourced from areas with high levels of heavy metal pollution or from non-food grade deposits, it may contain traces of heavy metals like arsenic, which can be detrimental if ingested. Oh my God, y'all. Speaking of arsenic, okay, has nothing to do with buttworms, but y'all know how I'm fascinated by the Gypsy Rose case. So I was watching on Hulu the prison confessions, whatever, of Gypsy Rose, and apparently Gypsy Rose's mom killed her mom, which is crazy because then, like, that's Gypsy's grandma. So Gypsy's mom killed her own mom, and then Gypsy killed her mom. But to be honest, after watching that, I'm definitely more on Gypsy's side. I feel for her. I know people don't, but yeah, that shit's scary. If her mom had the ability to kill her own mom, that woman would have done anything to get what she wanted, and Gypsy knew that. I respect her for that. Anyway, but yeah, so binders are kind of like my last step right now. I'm doing another pin rid cleanse starting tomorrow, but pretty much, like, if you feel like your symptoms are bad, for me, like, the problem is what I think is it creates an autoimmune response. So if you have fibromyalgia and you notice your nerve endings are getting worse, or, for me, my RA was acting up, and I just immediately would think, oh, this is my rheumatoid arthritis, not anything else. But when you look at the list of symptoms, joint pain is in there. And so I really highly recommend, if you have gout, rheumatoid arthritis, anything like that, anything that can be considered joint pain, put that in the category, like if you're looking up the symptoms and stuff. So a lot of symptoms with rheumatoid arthritis when you flare are getting the flu-like symptoms. Having a fever, stuffy nose, feeling sick, tired, whatever, vomiting, even stuff like that. And now I know why, because this is just messing with your gut biome. And imagine just like little worms pooping everywhere in your stomach. It's messing with the balance, bacteria, everything is getting in there. So you also want to hydrate a lot on cleanses. You need to be able to flush things out, and like things cannot be stopped up. You can't be constipated and try a parasite cleanse. You need to make sure things are moving, and to make sure things are moving, plants or water-soluble fiber, which are lettuce, plants, vegetables, broccoli, avocado, those things, incorporate those in your diet. Drink a lot of water because that's going to help lubricate things, So, but yeah, that's pretty much what it is, and it's just in phases. You have to pay attention to your body. You have to see how you're feeling. After a while, I didn't think I need to do pinworm cleanses for the whole week, so like I said, I just do it for a few days out of a month or two. I'm gonna do one now, because not now, but like tonight or tomorrow, because I think that's gonna be one of the finaler steps to finally getting into remission. So, but I am so strict with my diet. Literally, I drink this smoothie, and like once a week, I'll go out and get a protein style burger from In-N-Out. Nothing else. No Coke, no French fries, no bun on that. So, and then other than that, I just eat salads. So, I was eating some chorizo and eggs, but the eggs made me flare because when they're grain fed and corn fed, those sit in warehouses a lot and just grow mold. So that's going to exacerbate your issues. Even if you have parasitic infection, that's just going to allow bacteria to just feed on that and kind of stuff, because it's low quality food and things. and it has particles that already they identify with consuming and stuff. So it's really crazy to think that such small things could really impact you, like a chicken eating grains, their eggs impacting me like that. But it's like that. And a lot of us as kids, we've been ingesting toxins since we were little ones. And I'm actually very curious to see, I want to see what is in baby food. Because I want to know, conspiracy. Okay, I want to know if they are pumping babies full of this so that there's more likelihood of having issues with. Have you tried pasteurized eggs? No, I actually just found them at Aldi's. I learned that that's what I should be eating. So, like the pasture raised ones, um, grass fed, whatever the hell they're called. But yeah, I learned that that's what I should be eating because I really like eggs. Also, welcome back, B9. I love eggs. I love chorizo and eggs, and I find that my healing kind of goes a little faster when I eat eggs. And I heard somewhere on something, I didn't double check, but eggs are a superfood. They contain like almost every vitamin in it except for one or something like that. I don't remember exactly what it is, so I can't tell you, but they're very great for you. So I miss eating eggs and stuff like that. So now I know I can still eat them, just like coffee. Like I can still have coffee, but coffee tends to grow mildew and mold by just sitting in warehouses. Some brands are aware of that, so they take extra care not to have mold and mildew grow on their supply. And even then, there's people like Dunkin', like maybe they don't clean their lines well enough or something, and it starts growing mildew and mold. That can make you sick. You know, it's very small things that if you have fungus infection already, ground turkey, water, cornstarch. Ew, that sounds fucking nasty. I can't believe babies have to eat that. That sounds terrible. Ground turkey, water, and cornstarch? Pardon? Excuse me? What? Ugh. Brother, ugh. Fucking ugh. Apple prune? You guys, I know what I'm gonna do when I have money. I'm gonna try baby food. I'm gonna rate this because this shit better be good. Because I swear to God, if they're feeding babies nasty ass shit, and I know some of it's nasty. I remember smelling the fucking peas and the green beans when I used to feed my baby brothers. Ugh, ugh. And then they'd have green poop. Ooh. Anyway, so like I said, you don't have to do things as severe because most of you can walk just fine. For me, nope. So, we're getting there. We're getting there. But if you don't have symptoms as bad as mine, truthfully, what I suggest, if you can walk, if you just find like maybe you're a little tired, maybe like you're having like, you know, gut issues, diarrhea, constipation, maybe you're having yeast infections that can look like skin rashes. Because for the longest time, I had a yeast infection, but it was just a skin rash. So what happened, I had like a rash on my hands. And I was taking this medicine that really just shut down my immune system. And I was living in a group home, so like conditions weren't that clean. And so, because I grew up in foster care for a bit. And so I remember my hands being really itchy. And I was always doing this and stuff. And my friend was like, that's a yeast infection. I was like, what? No. Because like always when I hear yeast infection, I'm like thinking that's in your cooter or something, you know. So I never knew it could be on your skin. But yeast is candida. We all have candida on our skin. So if your system is a little imbalanced, the candida will overgrow, especially if you eat a lot of sugar, a lot of fried foods, and which in high school I did. So that exacerbated the issue even more. So if that's not you, then you know, you don't need to go as severe. It could just be that you need to incorporate more things. For me, because it was literally my body was just breaking down, like the exterior, my skin, everything. So you know, it could be as simple for y'all who can walk and just deal with the very minute symptoms of that. you could just maybe take Pinrid, or if you feel called to, you know, always see if that medicine interacts with any medicines you're taking. But you could do it once a month. You don't have to do like a whole month like I did, or a whole 2 weeks. You could do it once a month for two days, 48 hours. And, you know, just maybe eat more garlic heavy meals. Incorporate some Greek yogurt into your dressings, or into Kenny. Hello. I hope you had a good weekend. Um, or just eat some yogurt in the morning daily. I tell you what, Activia, they have a really good I never got Danimals yogurt when I was a kid. I really wanted it, but I never got it. So they have a really great like Danimals yogurt version of of Activia. So pretty much like it's a probiotic Activia, so it's got all the good probiotics. And I remember drinking it like a couple a day, and that just kind of helped my gut a lot more. So um, you could just incorporate something simple like that. The American diet is missing heavily two things. It's probiotics and fiber. And it's not just fiber that you find in Fiber One and stuff like that, because that's going to give you fucking constipation. You need plant soluble, water soluble fiber, which are plants. You know, vegetables, whatever. Vegetables. Fruit has fiber, but not so much nowadays, to be honest. A lot of them are GMO'd, so they're modified to be tasty and delicious, which, of course, who doesn't want that? But they don't have as much fiber per apple. So back in the day, like when I was a kid, you could eat one apple and a glass of water, and you'd get things regulated, because that's what my grandma used to say. Like, if you're constipated, eat an apple, drink a tall glass of water, and you'll be able to poop in 20-30 minutes. Which always happened. But now it's like 2 apples, because you don't have the same amount of fiber. Also, apples are great in the whole kind of detox stage for mold, anything like that, mold, parasitic toxins of any sort, because they have a good bacteria in the center of the apple that kind of acts like a probiotic in a sense. So apples are really great because it's like a probiotic fiber in one kind of thing. But hi, still sick. Oh no, garlic. Eat some garlic. Tutti Frutti by Gerber, my go-to for reasons. I didn't know that was a thing. Let me look that up. I do know funny enough, I like the pear baby food. Tutti Frutti. Is that a thing? Tutti. Hawaiian Delight. Ooh. That sounds delicious. Pineapple and banana. I'll fuck that shit up right away. Apple cherry. I could fuck with that. Pear. Yeah, that one's my favorite. I don't see any Tutti Frutti. Or are you talking about the cereal? Do you have a good farmer's market near you? I do. I have many. Many. I love them. That's why I can't wait for my joints to get better, because then I can start. I need to get some bee pollen. Bee pollen is great. Even if you're a guy and you're finding you're gaining weight and you don't really know why. It could be just the fact that, you know, you have a higher amount of estrogen. So bee pollen is great for regulating hormones, man or woman. So I've really been wanting to look for bee pollen. Garlic, guess I need to order some pizza then. Hell yeah, get some garlic on that shit. Yeah, garlic is really good to, it's like an antimicrobial, antifungal. To be honest, raw garlic would be better for you, but any garlic is better than no garlic. I think they might even have changed. Mama adds it for smoothies. Really? That's awesome. I would have never thought of doing that. There's a fruit medley. Apple, strawberry, banana. Prune? Ooh. Ooh. Apricot mixed fruit. I believe you. I wanted to see what was in it, what it looked like and stuff. But yeah, maybe I should start a series of trying baby food and rating them. Just for fun. Um Someone's going to get mad at me. There's babies out there who need that. Yeah, me. I'm just kidding. Um I'm just letting you know so you can feed this to your babies or not, dude. Anyway, hypothetically. But that's my buttworm talk, y'all. There's really not much to it, but there is. Like, it's simple, but it's complex. So if you don't have crazy symptoms like mine, um, like I said, just incorporate some plain Greek yogurt, and there's a reason why the Mediterranean diet works so well. So plain Greek yogurt, maybe eat a gyro once a week with some tzatziki sauce, heavy tzatziki sauce. You know, incorporate some more fiber that comes from vegetables. Um, Beans are good in fiber as well. Those are considered vegetables or legumes. So there's lots of things like, you could get fajitas and have protein and fiber, and that's great for you. And if you can find a cultured sour cream, use that as your probiotic instead of Greek yogurt. So many things like that. You can even put Greek yogurt in your salad dressing, like instead of using whatever mayonnaise or whatever the hell. I don't know how you make salad dressings. And you can use ranch because that's what Salad and Go does. They make their ranch with Greek yogurt. It's so good, super good. They make a barbecue ranch with Greek yogurt. So back in the day, a lot of dressings and stuff had cultured creams in it. Lots of soups were topped with cultured creams because it was important to have cultured creams in your daily diet to fight that kind of bacteria that lives in the gut. And it's very resistant. It's very resistant to medicine, very resistant to antifungals, bacterials, and stuff like that. I only know that because I got MRSA as a kid. I don't know if you guys remember when that went around, but I got it, and it got into the bone of my leg, and I had a really bad bone infection in my leg. So I was hospitalized for half of my school year because of it, my senior year. So, that bacteria, it lives on your skin, it's staph, but it's very resistant to medicine, and that's because all the things we eat and shit's full of antifungals, antibacterials, and your body becomes resistant to, like, the modern day kind of things, and that's where, like, the traditional things are true gonna work, and there's lots of there's lots of evidence behind it through cultural teachings. And this is where I try to talk about this stuff, and like on TikTok, white dudes will come in and tell me that I'm virtue signaling, but I really do think America has whitewashed the food, which gives us the health issues that we have, and we don't really connect with ourselves and intuitively eat. We eat for stress, we eat for dopamine hit, and so that's more going to lend a hand to junk food, alcohol, sugar. Sugar hits the same part of the brain that cocaine does, literally. So, and if you watch My 600-Pound Life, which I love that show, I feel like I have the same eating habits as them, which is, I think people find that ironic because of my size, but it's true. But it's because food is a comfort for me, and I know that, and that's why I struggle with my joints, because I want to eat all these good foods, but I know it's not good for me. But I know I can within moderation. I just have to heal my gut. So, and get this parasite mold shit under control. And I feel like I'm on the cusp of remission. I feel so good today. My knee is finally barely swollen today. It's still swollen, but not as bad as last Monday. So I know tomorrow I'm going to be starting Monday on a much better note than I did last Monday. How are we all feeling about being in labor tomorrow? What are you guys naming your babies? I'm just kidding. Anyway, I don't think anything opens at 11. We eat convenience, right? And that's the thing, like everything's so fast paced that you need to do something that's convenient and it's not healthy, but you have really no choice, so you sacrifice your health for it. And then it's just a nonstop spiral, and people don't know how to cook, or people don't have the time to cook, or people don't have the money to cook. So fast food is there, which ruins their whole gut microbiome, especially if you're very sensitive to it. And if you're predisposed or whatever to illnesses, like my mother has rheumatoid arthritis. So since that's hereditary, that's at 6 years old, that's what happened, is we moved into like a mold infested place. And I think that's what kicked up and started like the autoimmune illness. So I think what it is America has a really bad mold epidemic, essentially going on, which people would be like, oh no, that would never happen. But the government has done biological warfare on its own people so many fucking times. Are you kidding me? So it wouldn't surprise me for Big Pharma's sake. And then everybody keeps eating food, Cheez-Its, Cheetos, all these carbs, all these refined foods that have no nutrition, overly processed, stresses the body out to process it in general. And then on top of it, just feeds the bad bacteria, the parasites, and everything. And like the parasites in me, I know it's a joke and stuff, but it's true. Most of Americans are dealing with mold and parasitic toxicity in their system, and they don't know how to get rid of it. It's really just as simple as incorporating things in your diet, but a lot of us don't want to stop eating things, even if it means for like 6 months to heal ourselves. So you have to ask yourself if you know, you truly want to go down that route. But for me, it means being able to walk or not. So I was willing to do it, obviously, because I had no other choice. So I've taken everything that I can learn from this and applied it. And at this point, I think I know the direction I'm going. And I'm so excited because I think I'm going to be off all my medicine. Maybe just one pill. That's going to be incredible, though. I've never been on just one pill in my life. It's always been so severe that I've been on chemo. I've been on infusions that are like high-end infusions, take hours, tons of anti-cancer drugs for this shit. Like insane amounts of medicine, 16 pills every day, but multiple times a day, multiples of those pills. Like I was medicated up as a kid for this arthritis and nothing really worked. And so times I'm like, I doubt I have arthritis, but you get blood tests to prove you have rheumatoid arthritis. So I do have it. So why does none of the medicine work? And I think it's because this mold issue that I'm having. So, and that's been coupled with parasitic and candida. So if you think you have a parasitic, then doing these things also helps get rid of mold. It also helps get rid of candida. But it's not necessarily about getting rid of candida either and the bacteria in your gut. It's about balancing it, because that's a bad thing about antibiotics is it kills all the bacteria. And you need good bacteria in there to be healthy and everything. So, and I forgot to say it when I was drinking my smoothie to heal my gut. The reason why it does that is because you have a mucus lining in your gut, and it's very thin. It's very fragile. And a lot of things we eat are so abrasive to that and not like hard on it. So it ruins the mucus lining. On top of that, parasites do too. So that's why you find like diarrhea and stuff like that. And, like gastrointestinal issues, I think is the word I'm looking for. I was gonna say gastroenterologist, but that's the dude who does that stuff. But yeah, when I was doing my research, like 80% of Americans have parasites and don't even know it. Only because of how I don't know how they got that, but I don't know how they tested, you know. But just like most people are replace, repair, 100%, right, Kenny? Yeah. So even for yourself, Kenny, anyone who feels sick constantly, I think mold is like the underlying issue, but I would not be surprised if you guys had candida overgrowth or had parasitic issues coupled with it, because that's what I think is people are having mold infections and it's kicking up their autoimmune issues. And so that's why like people get triggered by sugar and carbs and stuff like that. And it's not necessarily about the gluten. It's just about that it's overly processed and it's so refined. It has no substance. It's feeding these parasites. Has no fiber in it. Has no nutritional value at this point. And even the flour that's used is so processed. And I tell you guys this a lot about that time in like the 1600s or whatever, 1700s, where merchants would sell bread and it would be distributed by the weight. And that's how you would get paid. So how much it weighed was, you know, you got paid more if it was heavier. So they started adding lots of things like metals and different powders that just were not good for you but weighed a lot and made the breads weigh a lot so that they could get paid more. And people were eating it, becoming malnourished, getting really sick and stuff like that. And I think some sort of food regulation came around during that time because of that. So I kind of think the same thing is happening, but because we have the FDA, they're working for other people. Essentially, they're being lobbied, um, because they're willing to take a paycheck to undermine qualities of certain foods so certain companies can get away with doing certain things so that people get sick and big pharma comes in. And that's where supplements come in, because they say, hey, you need these supplements. And I really am against supplements. I'm taking activated charcoal and glutathione. Glutathione, once again, is just really helpful with mold detoxing. And activated charcoal is a binder. It's really great for just getting toxins out, because the toxins, it absorbs the toxins. So um, those are the only ones I've taken. I take ashwagandha from time to time in kind of like phases. But other than that, most supplements, even ashwagandha, even the ones I take, like, are not regulated. They say they're regulated, but they're not regulated. Like, the FDA doesn't have a say of what goes into these, so you could really have anything in these capsules. Um, and then on top of that, a lot of things, like if you want to take vitamin B, for instance, a lot of times to really absorb that, you need other vitamins around to absorb it. And a lot of times, like fruits and vegetables, they'll have one vitamin in it, like vitamin C, but then to help absorb it, they have the rest of the nutrients that's in the vegetable, fruit, and that's the supporting vitamins that help you absorb that vitamin. So most supplements don't have that, so a lot of people really end up making themselves, I feel like, worse by taking supplements unnecessarily. um, so because all these influencers and all these people are telling you, simple is really best with a lot of things with your body. It's not crazy. It doesn't need to be. So that's where, to me, it was like getting too complex. I need an infusion here, I need a shot here, I need to get a surgery every 3 months on my joints here, and then on top of that, I need to take 16 pills every day here. Like, it was too, I was like, there's no way this is supposed to be my life. The fuck. So this has been the journey so far, but my joints are feeling so much better today, and I just hope tomorrow is even better. And I hope this week my joints keep improving so that I can just prove this point even more. But I do think if you have autoimmune illness, chronic illness, it would really be in your best interest to do a detox. And it's not anything crazy. You don't even have to get pin rid. You can completely do this just by eating salads, incorporating more probiotics in your diet. Not pills. Don't do pills. Not pills. Not supplements. Nothing like that. Um, Probiotics in the food form. Um, Incorporate more probiotics, more fiber, plant fibers, and limit the amount of sugar. If you want to use sugar, use honey. Um, there's lots of sugar-free options. Don't eat too many of those because you'll get diarrhea. But ask me how I know. No, I'm just kidding. But anyway, but yeah. So a lot of people don't really need to eat like this. Some people can eat whatever the fuck they want, but unfortunately that's not me. And there's a lot of people who are chronically ill, and that's the same thing for them. They can't eat whatever they want, but I think I've kind of found a way that I can actually eat whatever I want in more moderation, but I'm not as limited as I used to be. Like, I literally could not eat anything sugar-wise without being crippled the next day. Now, like I said, I could go have a donut. I could go maybe eat a few brownies or have some ice cream, and I'll be okay the next day. No reaction. If I did it every day, then I would start feeling sore and swollen. But um, yeah, sugar and carbs feed all of that. So that's why all of them are kind of hand in hand, and the same kind of protocol works for almost all of them. Parasites you're not necessarily going to kill with the same protocol as mold, but it's going to create a better environment for your gut in which the parasites can't thrive. But that's where I heavily recommend a binder, a natural binder. And we just went over the binders. I'm sure there's more. So just look up binders if you want to look into this. And, if you feel like one works better than the other for you, then do that. Many things are not made to be replaced, not repaired. Yeah, in this new world. Unfortunately. Also, welcome in. How's the sound? Does it sound much better? delicious. All done. Now I gotta feed the dogs after this, their dinner. And I gotta freeze my avocados. I gotta cut them up and freeze them for my smoothies. And make some more garlic. So for me, the garlic has been the biggest thing. Because I would go through flares with my joints and stick to that garlic. And I only got that cue from garlic by TikTok. I don't know what it was, but this is where I just call the spiritual side of it, because I don't know how I was given this information. It just happened on my For You page. But fermented garlic. And I was like, let me try it. It's to the point where it's like I have nothing else to try, you know? Nothing else is giving me relief. I'm bedbound. I'm young. I want to be able to go experience things. I want to be able to have my restaurant. How am I going to have my restaurant if I'm having surgeries and sick all the time, you know? So I was like, okay, I really need to prioritize my health and figure this shit out. And that's where, like, I wish you guys knew how grateful I was for you. I know I say it a lot. It's probably redundant and annoying. But I wish you guys could be a fly on the wall and see my life and how much I've struggled with my health and just how important it is that I'm able to place it on the front burner and take care of things like that. It's so crazy that I have the opportunity to do that. So I'm trying to take as good advantage of it as I can. So I'm trying to utilize this time to figure out what exactly makes me tick, why, you know, what makes me feel better. And that's where the garlic, like I started taking the garlic and noticed my joint swelling would go away. And I kept telling the doctor, like, I think it's a bacterial or something systematically. Because when I was younger, I used to get random blood infections. And I would start, like, hallucinating. And, like, it would be, like, 115 out. And I'd be, like, shivering cold. So they would take me to the emergency room, put me in the hospital, and give me antibiotics for a blood infection. I don't know if it's antibiotics, antibacterial. I don't know what it is. Antifungal. I don't know. But all I know is that I remember it would make my joints feel better. And the doctors were like, no, that's impossible. But now I'm like, no, it's not. Because if it's a bacterial fungal infection, you know, going on, or parasitic, then anything like that, antifungal wise that they were giving me, would have helped my joints. So it makes sense. And I remember we ended up, like, doing a stream where, like, there was the medicine that I recognized, and I looked up what it was, and I'm pretty sure that was the one that helped me the most joint wise, and now I know why. So yeah, pretty much just that's all I've learned with it. I'm still learning more because I'm not in remission yet. Also a big part of that, I did drink, and I still do. I just haven't been making it because my sink is broken and I can't dump the shit down the garbage disposal. So I don't have any pots available anyway. But I was also drinking a lot of chicken stock. Chicken broth is just like boiling chicken meat. Chicken stock is boiling the bones and the chicken. So I get a pack of chicken drumsticks, cook it for the dogs, and throw the drumstick bones into a pot of water and boil it to make chicken stock. And then I throw some onions in it, and every morning that'd be my first breakfast. I'd wake up right away, drink a hot cup of chicken broth with some onions. And I'd put some onions in the broth as well, so they're like nice and soft. So it's just like an onion broth soup in the morning. That's really great for your gut. It's got collagen in it, which heals your gut lining, and collagen is great for your skin, so if you care about that. And then the onions are antimicrobial and anti-parasitic. So onions are very good for you. And truthfully, the more potent the vegetable, then you know there's a medicinal purpose. In my mind, that's what I've come to learn a lot. I forget what radishes are. Radishes, garlic. Most onions that I know of have some medicinal property. Herbs, you know, anything with that really strong, potent smell, taste, it's going to have some medicinal factor to it. Lettuce is great, you know, that's great. I love it, but it's not going to have like any crazy medicinal factors. Kale will. Kale can be really good for you. But it's got more vitamins and stuff, and it's because the more vitamins and stuff is going to make stuff bitter and strong flavor. So just keep that in mind when you're building salads and stuff like that, and, you know, happy eating. There's a Chinese practice well, more Asian, I think. I don't know if Japanese and Korean people, but they could. But I would say I'll umbrella it and say Asian. There's an Asian practice of eating where you don't eat to be full, just enough to be satiated, like enough to not be hungry and, move on for the next few hours, have energy and stuff like that. So I think once you start really committing to your health journey through food, you start understanding more of the idea of intuitively eating and only eating things that are good for you. And it doesn't matter about the sweets or anything like that. It's just what's good for you. And then you move from there. And like I said, with this, like I can eat healthy. And now it seems like the more I heal, I can integrate small treats here and there more often without the next day being crippled. So that is a win for me because before, like, I couldn't eat anything, so I would save like my birthday and then November, like Thanksgiving, and then Christmas. Those were the only times I could have sugar, so I would binge eat sugar on those days because any other time it would make me feel like shit. So I know it's gonna make me feel like shit right now, but we're celebrating, so might as well go all in. So I'd binge eat for like 3 days till I got really, really sick of it, and then just wouldn't eat it for a few months. So now I know I don't have to do that because that's obviously very unhealthy. I'm aware. So now I'm learning, okay, I can eat these more in moderation, like as a treat, every couple weeks, once a month, go get a little treat. And so, and I'm learning, the more balanced way to eat foods that will help my gut and stuff like that. So hopefully this info is like good to somebody in one way or another. But I do think the American diet is which is so funny because we're like a country really based on Christianity. They say we're not, but they're lying. Um, Fucking liars. Anyway, so for a country that's based off of Christianity, though, like so gluttonous, like you have all the devil temptations here for Christian society shit, like lust. Have you seen America? Like sex is the number one thing that America is known for. Like what? So, ironic, but yeah, sounds good. I really want some chicken garlic pasta. Sounds so good. My aunt's daughter, when I was younger, used to make this garlic dish that was chicken, heavy garlic, a little white wine, and like not a lot of Parmesan cheese, but just a little bit to make it like a creamy texture, and then with noodles. And that was it. And it was so good. It's one of my favorite dishes, but it's like a lot of garlic. A lot. So, as a kid, I fiended for garlic, and now I know why. I think that my body was just like wanting it because it was medicinal to my body. So anytime I could eat garlic, oh my God, layer it on times a million, because my body loved it. And now I know why. But 10 out of 10, I would always prefer the cooked garlic over the raw. I don't eat raw garlic for fun. It's not delicious. It's not for fun. So if you're listening to this later on or whatever now, it's not about eating raw garlic for the taste. It's all about medicinal. So it's not fun. But like I say, I would rather be able to walk. I'll eat the garlic to walk, okay? When I say I'll do anything to walk, I mean it. And at least I'm not put in the position of having to like unalive someone or some crazy shit like that. Okay, I'll take the garlic. If that's what's going to make me feel better, then I'll take the fucking garlic. So, knowledge is priceless, right? So absolutely. Yeah, I'm happy to, I have nothing else to do. I'm in the situation, so I'm trying to learn so I can improve my joints because I just want to be in remission so that I can start content creating how I want to and exploring and making money finally and everything, just living my life like a normal 20, almost 30-year-old lady. I've been bedridden and sick most of my life. So at this point, I'm ready to get out there. I've done so much learning because I'm just sick and all I can do is read. So I feel like, okay, I've got a lot of knowledge about this under my belt and I'm applying it so that I can get better. And if I get into remission, then that's just proof right there that, like, what I'm saying is true, because The medicine that I was on before when I was in remission, I'm not on anymore. For the longest time, I thought I was going to need that medicine for my whole life. Because I thought, oh, I'm only on one medicine. This is a miracle. This medicine is a miracle. I think it was my diet. I really do. So now I'm only on 2 pills, and my joints are feeling immensely better, and I'm having the same. I have the same diet, and things are getting so much better. So I really think it's this diet, and I had to figure out why. What about this diet is it doing? And so that's taken time, but the doctors use me as a guinea pig. I might as well use myself as a guinea pig. I want to fuck around and find out too. So I did. And I hope it can be useful information for other people who are really sick. Because, like I said, like I was taking all the wrong meds, chemo, all the shit. And there's a point when I didn't know I was taking chemo. I didn't know that till I became an adult. And then I realized it was making me more and more sick. And when I would tell the doctor that, they would just increase the dosage. Like, my elbow was so swollen, and I remember telling him, like, after my shot, it just felt worse. And he increased the dosage, and in my gut, I was like, that doesn't feel right. So I took myself off of it. And then I got better. And then same thing with my infusion. Last year, I was feeling sicker with it, and I was trying to tell the doctor that, but he was like, no, you're walking in just fine. But I'm like, dude, I'm taking 20 ibuprofen. First off, I'm not walking fine. I'm in a lot of pain. I'm just masking it. I wrote right down how much pain I'm in, I'm taking a lot of ibuprofen. So he's like, no, you look like you're feeling so much better. And I was like, no, trust me, I did not. So I took myself off my infusion last October, and I started feeling immensely better. And then I started a new medicine and started feeling better, and then started going downhill. So I tried another one before that. It sent me to the ER like 15 minutes into that. It doesn't count because that one was canceled out immediately. But this recent one, it took a bit, but it started interacting with me poorly. But I think that's because I have a mold and toxicity issue, toxic whatever. And that medicine that I take shuts down my immune system. And if that happens and I have mold fungal issues, then it's going to let that shit go haywire. So I think right now I really feel like I'm making the right decisions for myself, and I really just hope that I continue to get better and end up in remission, because then, like I said, it means that what I'm talking about has even more credibility to it, and the amount of people that I can help, which is saying, hey, eat some fucking garlic and yogurt. Stop eating sugar and fried food. Okay? Like, it's really that simple, but the American diet lacks it so much, and people are so driven by stress, and it's that cortisol hormone, stress, whatever chemical. So that's driven by stress of work, and coffee can create that same factor. So people are really hooked on their coffee, and coffee grows mold and mildew really easy and stuff like that. So people probably have a lot of mold toxicity issues without even knowing it, and have hormonal imbalance because of that. And then on top of it, that stresses their body out even more. So that stress hormone is always going to be up here. And because a lot of people are in fight or flight, that stress hormone is always going to be up here, So then we look for sugar. We look for fried foods. It's essentially a way of stimming. It's a way of seeking sensory to meet that chemical reaction. So pretty much like sugar, automatically bumps that up way high because it's sugar. It creates like that cocaine effect in the mind. Essentially, it's the same thing. It's a proven fact. So, and then fried foods creates just that dopamine effect as well. Not dopamine, but like a cortisol, like the stress level up there. And that's where, like, when your stress level lowers, people who are used to their stress being up here, if it lowers, they get freaked out. They're like, oh my God, something bad's gonna happen. Oh my fucking God, or they start doing things to seek out being stressed. Funny enough, like they'll self-sabotage because not being stressed is unfamiliar to them. So they seek out things that end up making them stressed. I used to be like that unknowingly. And that's where I've come to learn that, yeah, definitely stress and worrying is a choice. And even in the situation I'm in now, I really am feeling so indifferent to it, which is crazy because it's taken a while for me to get here. But if I can, then anyone can. And I'm happy to help people with the exact steps. And the best thing about having ADHD is I'm not going to make you take a course. I'm not going to sugarcoat it. I'm just going to give you a straight cut, dry clean what it is. I don't care if it's graphic. I don't care. I just am here to give the information to help people, and that's it. And you have to be transparent, even if it's talking about butt worms. I really don't care. It's a relief to finally know more about what's going on truthfully. So people could judge, people could think I'm gross. I don't care. All I know is I'm going to be healthy soon and feeling better, butt worm free, mold free, and I'll be able to start a new chapter in my life of living my life actually like an able-bodied human, which will be so nice. Believe it or not, in high school I used to run a lot. I used to run 5Ks for fun. I used to go snowboarding. I was in gymnastics. I was in dance. I was very active as a kid. But I did it all in short spurts because it was very limited. I never knew how long I had when I was active, so I did it all. Like, it would usually be like 6 months, 7 months, and then boom, back into the hospital. So when I was up and going again, it was, okay, I am going to go join every physical activity I can, and my family allowed me. So flag football, hockey, anything I could get active in. I didn't excel at all, but they let me try it all. And there's a lot of things I like: dance, working out now, more weightlifting and stuff. I don't really love running, but I would like to be able to run if there was an emergency. So I'd like to be able to just walk my dogs, to be honest, because then I would walk them multiple times a day. That'd be so fun. I would love that. So yeah, that's why I'm so heavy on just trying to get this figured out so I can be in remission, so I can just start living my life. I could die anytime soon. I just want to be able to walk. I want to be able to live a normal life without being impacted so heavily by a piece of bread or something like that. Yeah. Good night. Yes. Have a good night. Thank you for popping in again, Donovan. For real. I can't say thank you enough to you guys on YouTube for being the OGs. I'm really grateful for y'all. So thank you so much. Also, thank you for everyone who donated earlier. We met my lawyer goal. So I need 300 for a consult. So we met that. So thank you. We got to start working on the other goals, which is rent, Spudgy's blood work, and my car. I don't know how much that's going to be, but anyway. So, but yeah, you have a good night. I'll see you tomorrow. Tomorrow's going to be a long streaming day, so feel free to pop in if you want. You don't have to. We're going to be pushing sales, pushing donations a lot because I need my car. I don't think it's anything bad. I really think it's the gas. And if Destroyer is right, then I can just call the gas station and let them know what happened. And he said that a lot of times when that happens, that they'll reimburse people for their bill. So maybe that'll happen. But I think it's just a bad batch of gas that I got. So still gonna cost like $300-400 to get that drained and whatever. But is what it is. Yeah, so we've got a long week ahead, but I'm going to be streaming a lot, so I look forward to seeing y'all beautiful faces. But tomorrow's Monday. If it's Tuesday for you, I hope you have a good Tuesday. But tomorrow's Monday for me, so if you have Monday tomorrow, it's a new moon, so hopefully you start the new moon off and the new month off and the new week off on the right foot. And think positive. All the things that happened last week, you can look at them in a different perspective to where you can gain something from it. It's always able to be done. It's a little difficult, but you got to sit with yourself and do a little introspective work. Turn on some music, smoke a bowl, connect with yourself. It's a little corny, but still, that's the only way to figure out how to get your shit taken care of. No one else can figure out your world except for you, so you got to really take time to figure it out, And that's pretty much what I do, and that's what I wish doctors would understand. Like, I try to tell them, like, listen, I have nothing better to do but sit here and try different foods, try different medicines, and read about what's going on with my body and how it's impacting me and why, and document the symptoms that I'm having with this food, with this medicine. I have nothing better to do with my time than that. Like, they don't understand that because I've prioritized that because I've been so sick. I don't want this for my whole fucking life. So they think I'm stupid because my tattoos and I'm a girl, and they think that the thing is like, yes, doctors have a lot of knowledge that I don't and that we don't, but I've been around doctors and I always ask questions and they will always tell me. So I've gained a lot of knowledge and I've come to learn that knowledge is free. You just got to look in the right places. So they paid a lot of money, but it's their job to inform you as a patient. Um, Adrian, welcome in. So at this point in my life, I'm just like, okay, I feel like I'm on the cusp. I'm about to just be in remission. I'm about to be back on my motorcycle. I wanted to be riding my motorcycle yesterday, but there was no way. So maybe the end of September will be when I can hop back on my motorcycle. I have to get my sprocket and chain fixed. It's not broken or anything, but it's been sitting outside. I should have parked it in the garage, but I can't move it really, and I don't really like to talk to people, so I don't want to ask anyone for help. But it's been sitting in front of my house, and it's kind of rusty, the sprocket and chain, so I need to replace that and just get her tuned up a little bit for riding and get a new helmet. But other than that, I'm ready for riding. And that means next year I'm going to be riding everywhere. Anywho, hope you guys are having a good night. Thanks for listening to my buttworm story. Let me know if you have any questions. I'll be posting this as well as always. So if you have any questions, feel free to ask and I'll answer them in another segment. But yeah, that's pretty much it. I think I'm going to hop off because I have to feed the dogs and it's been about an hour and a half. So I think their food's about ready to be served because it's being warmed up in the oven. So on a very low temp. So from there, I'm going to bid you adieu or whatever the fucking term is. But you guys have a good rest of your night. Thank you again for hanging out with me, and I'll be on all day tomorrow. So my goals for this week, I do this with my Twitch and my TikTok, so I don't know if you don't like this. I know some people don't like this. They're going to be like, get a job, blah, blah. I like to let people know my financial goals because it's just, if you want to do social media, it's a way you can see that someone's, it's how I do my streaming so I can meet my goals. B, on top of it, I don't know. It's the way I prefer to do it so that people know what the fuck I'm doing. So this week we're going to be streaming a lot. My car has an issue. I think I got some bad gas. So either way, it's going to have to get some money put into it. So I'll see how much tomorrow. But thank you everyone again because my lawyer consultation fee is now paid for. So I can get my consult done at least. So big fucking thank you guys. And so this week we'll be streaming for Spudgy's blood work, which is about $250. Rent, which is about $2,500, and my car, which I don't know how much will cost. So you don't have to donate if you don't want to or anything like that. If you just want to come in and support, like the stream, push it out, share it with your friends, whatever. It all somehow helps me. I don't know how it happens. It's literally by some fucking miracles. You guys are miracle workers. I don't know how I keep a fucking roof over my head because I used to get seriously stressed, and little by little I get less and less stressed. But I'm still a little stressed, but with everything on the plate this week. So I'm just hoping good things come from this. So I'm going to feed the dogs and meditate and prepare for tomorrow. But I hope you guys sleep well and eat, hydrate. Tell yourself you're amazing, okay? You deserve all the good things, so I hope you have a good week. I give extra love and stuff. Yes, I will for you, definitely. One more thing before you go, feed your dogs. Love you and God bless you. See you on. Hell yeah. Yes, I will see you guys tomorrow. Much love to all y'all. Sleep well, sweet dreams. If you see the Hat Man, tell him he owes me money. Anyway, Beef says good night. Good night, B9. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Sweet dreams.